you, the ambassador of Yahushua. Today is a special teaching concerning about the tablet Sumerian. Today's number is 46. 46 is the number of the teaching, but this is special teaching concerning about the Sumerian tablet for the continuity of all the teachings, so that there won't be any wrong in the number of the teaching. So before that, what is this Sumerian tablet? Sumerian tablet. This is what is this is I would say a stone written things on stone. This is found 400,000 before the birth of the Savior, who is Yahushua, because Yahushua is the Savior to those who go along with Yahushua. That means 4,000 years before Yahushua is the time, nearly almost the time of Adam and Eve and Noah. So in the Sumerian tablet, there is word written there concerning about the Bible. Frankly speaking, the Sefer Torah of the Jew. So the tablet Sumerian, which was found 400,000 before Yahushua, that's the oldest written thing in the human being's mind concerning about religion. I'm not going to talk about the Bible, because the Bible term is not exist, because the Bible, the human being created that term after Yahushua. But the right calling is Sefer Torah written by Moses. But the Sefer Torah was written by Moses 1,500 before Yahushua. So the tablet Sumerian is 2,500 oldest than what is written by Moses. That means what Moses wrote was from Abraham concerning about God, because without Abraham no one would have not known the God of Abraham. And the Sumerian tablet and the Sefer Torah, they have the same word in, but they are not the same. They are not the same. So the word written by Moses is 2,500 younger than the Sumerian tablet. But the Sefer Torah written by Moses talks about Abraham and the God of Abraham. But the problem for us who listen at home, what is written in the Sumerian tablet and the the Sefer Torah of the Jew. The author or the writer, what is affected by the Sumerian tablet and what is said in the Sefer Torah is not the same. Let's take an example. I take an example so that you could get it easily. What is written in the Sumerian tablet? During the flood, it was not Noah who was affected by the flood, but it was known as Utanpisti, is the man who was affected by the flood, and the god worshipped at Sumer is not Jehovah or Yahweh. I don't know what different account, but the god to be worshipped at the time of Sumerian, at the time is, what is the god written in the Sumerian tablet is Tiamat and Nabshi. Like Tiamat is God the Father, and Abshi is like his wife. What is written in the tablet, they are the creator of many different kinds of God, those Tiamat and Abshi. We will talk that in details later on. So, what is written by Moses is completely different from what is written by Moses in the Sefer Torah. As the Sefer Torah, let's say Bible, because that's what everybody knows it. What is written in the Bible is found in the Sumerian tablet as well. But the God, what is said in those are not the same. So the question is, who is the true God? Is it the God of the Sumerian or the God what is written in the Bible? But talking about the age, at the age of those, the Sumerian tablet is the oldest. That means the Sumerian tablet is the oldest, because the Sumerian tablet is 400,000 before Yahushua. But the Sefer Torah written by Moses is 1,500 before Yahushua. If that's the case, you're not going to believe what is written by Moses, because Moses was after 2,500 years after the Sumerian tablet. For example, there is the creator, and the creator in the tablet Sumerian is known as Tiamat and Abshi. That's the God, the creator, according to the Sumerian tablet. But in the Bible there is also creator, and it is Yahweh. But that is the one written in the Jew Sefer Torah. Even the Jew is amazed as what is written in the Sumerian tablet, because as seen the age between the Sumerian tablet and the Sefer Torah, it means that the Bible imitated what is written in the Sumerian tablet, and what is said by Sumerian tablet also said that it was not Noah was affected by the flood, but Ut and Piste. And the flood, they said that does God met together in the Euphrates River, and they issue a decree according to what they said, and then they created the flood. But in the Bible, the flood was happened, but it was different from what is said by the Sumerian tablet. But there is a contradiction between them. They said something which is the same, but completely different, because the order, the principal order, is not the same. If the Sumerian tablet is true, that means all what is written in the Sefer Torah and the Bible is wrong. The God of Abraham is also wrong. Even the Muslim was affected by that, because they took the word of Abraham, because they are the only one who know the history based on the age, based on the age of the Sumerian tablet. If that's the case, Noah did not exist. Even Yahushua, whatever you call, did not exist. But Yahushua is the truth. All of that did not exist with what is said in the Sumerian tablet. And that's what made the word up and down. They don't understand. So, I repeat again, where is this tablet found? So it was found in Sumer, in Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is in the Arab, like Iran and Iraq, the ancient Babylon, like Turk and Saudi Arabia. So all of that is, to say the least, Mesopotamia. There is a place called Sumer, and Sumerian is the people who live there. And it's Iraq, as now, concerning about geographical limit. So what is written? Mesopotamia. So they have their own civilization. So they went along with their God, and what it was going on there was written. So one of the writer is found in the tablet that is dated about 400,000 before Yahushua. And this Sumerian tablet is the oldest. So all the words concerning about God is stepped by the Sumerian tablet, and all the archaeologists know the history concerning about the Sumerian tablet. So many people were troubled. What should be done? seen this Sumerian tablet, because this could be the original, and after the Sumerian tablet is wrong and the scripture is wrong, but I give you the result. This is one of the devil's work, similar as the Urantia book, but this is in a different way. So in fact, this is one of the devil's plan. But to those who don't understand, they don't understand. That's what I have told you. Without me, you would have not known the truth. You see, because this is very old one. How can you deny the ancient one? Because there is same revelation, but the one which is behind 400,000 is not considered true because of the anciency of this Sumerian tablet. That means that Yahweh, the God, does not exist, but Tiamat Absi is the God. So human beings' faith is zero. If I did not say what they have put trust on does not exist or zero, you know, what should he reply about that? The Bible, what is written in the Bible, is explained in the Sumerian tablet. And I've seen the age of the Sumerian tablet concerning about the age and the anciency of the tablet. This is very, I would say, original one. But what is written in the Jew Sefer Torah is not this, and is not the same as what is written in the Sumerian tablet. So if the Sumerian tablet is true, everything what you put faith on is zero. But if the Bible or the Sefer Torah is true, so what is the reason why what is written in the Sumerian tablet is different? As the Sumerian tablet is the oldest. So that's why, how can it be wrong? Because it is the old one, the oldest. Because it's dated at the time of Noah, almost at the same time of the creation. Because human beings were, so it is roughly the time when everything was created. So it's a very ancient one. So which one is the true then? I ask the question. If I did not teach yet, I ask the question, which one is the true? It's the Sumerian tablet, because I've seen that age of the Sumerian tablet. The Sefer Torah is a copy, a wrong copy of, or derived from the Sumerian tablet, because it looks like this Sefer Torah changed the name. So this is a discovery of archaeologists, and they found this Sumerian tablet in Iraq, and they have found thousands of Sumerian tablet, and that's what made it very special. But I am just telling you about the originality, because what is behind is this. So the question is, who is the true God? If we see the age of those two. The Sumerian tablet is the valid, and now what have been worshipped are wrong. So what is this then? So what can be said? I'm going to reply. Do you understand the problem? But you can ask question when the time is ready in the place of the audiences. So the question is, which one is the true? Which one is the valid? Is it the Sefer Torah written by Moses 2,500 years after the Sumerian tablet? If that's the case, Moses was late in writing. Why? There is no one who wrote from the 4,000, because Abraham was 2,000 years before the birth of the Son of God, because Abraham told things concerning about God, because the God is the God of Abraham. So let's start the time of Abraham, because we know God through Abraham, not Moses. So why there was nothing written in between Abraham? Why the God of Abraham did not make someone to write? Why? That's the question. What is the reason why he did not speak? Because the Sumerian tablet, they wrote, but at the God during the time of Abraham, there was nothing written. How can we say and justify the word of Abraham as there was nothing written? The first answer is Abraham is the first Sumerian, because Abraham himself is Sumerian, and he was found in Mesopotamia and Chaldea and Ur and Chaldea. He was found in Mesopotamia, like when he was going to send his servants to get a wife to his son Isaac. He sent his servants to get a wife for his son to Mesopotamia. We saw that in Genesis chapter 24, verse 1 until 4. And Abraham was now old and well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed him every way. He said to the chief servant in his household, the one in charge of all that he had, put a hand under my thigh. I wanted to swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that he will not get a wife for my son from the daughter of my Canaanite, among whom living. In verse 9 and 10, so the servant put his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham, and swore an oath to him concerning his matter. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and left, and taken with him all the kinds of good things from his master. And he set out from Aram and made his way to the town of Nahor. So this is Mesopotamia, and it was precised that Chalde and Ur is the mother, the country land of Abraham. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 27. This is the account of Terah. Terah became the father of Abraham, Nahor and Haran became the father of Lot. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans. And when Abraham took wife to his son, he took wife to his son at Ur of Chaldeans, because that's the land, the homeland of Abraham. The Chaldeans is like, if I take an example, like Madagascar, there is Antananarivo, and there is also Analakele. Madagascar is, for example, Mesopotamia, and Antananarivo is the Chaldeans, and Ur is like Analakele, so that you will understand it. So the one who lived in Sumer was Abraham, because Ur is Sumer. So Ur is a city in Sumer. That means that Abraham is from Ur of Chaldeans. Like people know about Madagascar from its capital Antananarivo, and people know that Chaldeans and Ur is the city. That means that Abraham knew anything about what's going on in Sumer. But why the ancestor of Abraham did not write anything about what's going on there, as those who write the Sumerian tablet lived in the same area? But why the ancestor of Abraham did not say something about God of Abraham? The question is, like, we live in Antananarivo. Who says that the God we worship in Antananarivo is the same as the God worshipped by other people live outside Antananarivo? So every people have their one God, and they could write based on the God they are worshipping. It's not says that God does not write if He did not make someone to write concerning about Him, because Abraham's family stayed in this place, but they are not supposed to be writing something. And if tablet was found in Sumer, that does not mean that their God is the true, because everyone has got their one God. That's the first point, because those people found the story of the tablet Sumerian. That's theirs. It's not means that all the Sumerian belongs to all the people. It's not considered to be the true, because they have their one. Let's suppose that there is Rabbe and Rakut in Sumer, and this is the god of Rakut, and we don't know about the god of Rabbe. If you found the Sumerian tablet, that does not mean that the God of the Sumerian written in the tablet is the God of everybody. That's not possible, because Rakut and Rabe did not write like we live in the capital, Antananarivo. You know, not everyone who lives in Analakil in the same address write something. That does not mean that all of them are writers and they have their one God. So what is written by Sumerian in the tablet is not accepted to be a true God, because no one says it was not written that the God, what is found in the Sumerian tablet, is worshipped by everybody. So the second point is why the ancestor of Abraham did not write anything and has not seen anything about their God. So what happened? Let's take the Sefer Torah written by Moses, as this history was found in the Sumerian tablet, that those Son of God went down and lived among the human being, and they met at the Euphrates River. So the God of the Sumerian went down on earth and they lived among the human being, and they became the God of the human being. So it's like things created by them, the flood. So why the history of the Abraham did not written anything about the God, their God? Because the flood was written both in the Sefer Torah as well as the Sumerian tablet. But the right truth, the valid truth, is that the flood was made by the God of Abraham, because of those angels went down and lived among the human being, and that's why God destroyed the generation of those, because God hates the generation of the Sumerian, because they are unclean people. That's why God say, I am not happy because of what I made, created the human being. And that's why God say He does not go along with unclean people. The God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob confirmed that He does not go along with the sinner. It's normal. It's normal. God did not write anything because the human being lived among those false gods, and they have a good terms with human being. That is written in the Sumerian tablet. But the Sumerian tablet did not say that they marry the human being and have a Nephilim generation, and God hate all the generation of those Sumerian, as an unclean people, as a wicked people. God did not go along with them, because God have said, I am your God, and God will never be changed in the way He speaks. He will never change. If He said, don't give dog to what is sacred, God will never give what is sacred to to the dog. And the human being have lived among the false god. It means that God did not make someone to write anything about them. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 6. Don't give to dog what is sacred. And those people are not accepted to be clean because they have a Nephilim generation. And that's why God made the flood. And God was not motivated to write because of the uncleanness of the people who live there. It means that the ancestor of Abraham was among the wicked people, and all of them were affected by the flood. So it is proved that there was nothing written about the God of Abraham, but in the God of Abraham, flood was proved, but there was nothing explained about the flood. But the flood, what is written in the Sumerian tablet, is just their one pleasure to do the flood. So it's their happiness to kill people then. So God was true in saying that the devil is a murderer from the beginning, because the Sumerian tablet, it says that it's their one pleasure to make the flood, not the same as what is made by God, because God have proved the reason of the flood, because of God was not pleased with the generation of those Sumerian, because they are wicked people. You see? So God did not make someone to write, and we see that God's character will never go along with the wicked people. God of Abraham exists, because when God came to save, God called Abraham the Sumerian to go along with him. It means that God saw the problem in Sumer. He saw the problem in Sumer. That's why God chose Abraham to go along with him. And Abraham was blessed by God because of his faith as a righteousness. Because concerning about the history, what's going on in Sumer was about an idols. So the God of Abraham, this is a third explanation. The first one is God did not write anything because the Sumerian tablet is not accepted by everybody to be worshipped. The God found there, it's not the true God. And the second one is there was no proof, there was no written in the case of Abraham, because a lot of people were classified as a wicked people and killed by the flood, because God did not send Noah to write. God did not make Noah to write, because God killed all the people in Sumer, And Noah was a witness, not to write, but as a proof to save the human beings, so that not all of them are being wiped out because of the flood, but the God who tempests the devils the same. And the third one is the third notification, the reason why God was not there, was God in Sumer were not there. What's the reason why you said he was not there? Because the God written in the Sumerian tablet, they lived among the human being. If God of Abraham lived among the human being, that means they are in the same situation. But it is very clear that God hates what's going on in Sumer, and God was calling Abraham to save the people who live on earth. Because if God went down to Sumer, he would have done what the God found in the Sumerian tablet did. So, it's not proved that God was at Sumer. God was not the God of Abraham was not in Sumer. It's not in Sumer, because if he was there, he would have been the same as the Sumerian, what is written in the Sumerian tablet. So if the people who wrote the Sumerian tablet, it's the devil who they wrote, but not the God of Abraham. Because the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob did not live among the human being, because he is holy. And that's why God was not in Sumer. And it's normal why the people did not write anything about him, because he was not in Sumer and nothing written about him. But he knew what's going on there and made the flood and then planned to save the human being. If God saved, that means God created the flood. But why the God of Sumerian tablet did not save? It's the reason why God is true that the devil is a murderer. The devil is a murderer. Let's suppose that they are the author of the flood for the pleasure of what they made the flood. They did not have a plan to save the human being. They did not have sense. So the question is, who wants to go along the God who does not have the plan to save? Because I saw the Sumerian tablet. That's why I say to you, this is not a truth, but this is Sumerian tablet is the devil. This is from the devil. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not live among the human being there. He did not do that. That's why he was not seen and nothing was written about him, because he was not in Sumer. And that's why God exists. And when the time came, he called Abraham to go along with him. It's logic of the truthness, because the people died because of those false gods lived among the people and gave birth to the Nephilim generation. It's the Sumerian who was the author of this wrongness, and it is the Sumerian as well used to save, in order to save. So what God did to Abraham is destroying the Sumerian tablet, so you cannot criticize the God of Abraham. And the word were up and down. They did not do, if they are coming or going, all the word religious have nothing to say about this Sumerian tablet. I have said to you that you don't have God. All what you've been doing is wrong. You cannot have the right to protect yourself. The one from above, not from above, and tell something from above. But you from the earth, you don't know anything about if something is over your mind. Come to your mind. So that's the first party, the first episode, that the Sumerian tablet is not true. And we talk about the second episode, and the third one we will explain about the God. So that's the first part. I explain about the reason why there was nothing written about God in Sumer, because God was not happy with what's going on in Sumer, because of human being married those false gods and gave generation to the Nephilim. And why the Nephilim generation was not written in the Sumerian tablet? If it was written there, everybody will know that this is wrong, because the Nephilim generation is one of the big reasons that God was not happy with the Sumerian people. So God made the flood because of those Nephilim generation, human being generation with those devil. So the second part, how can we prove that what is written by Abraham, by Moses, is true and valid? It's simple. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is in continuation of the third episode. Everything what was spoken by the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob was true, and nothing was criticized. God said that your generation will be enslaved in the place where they are not on, and God must have given a sign to distinguish himself from the God of the Sumerian tablet. God said that I am the Yahweh your God. This is a sign between you and I. I'm going to save your generation, but first of all they will be enslaved in the land which is theirs. So that was existing, that Abraham generation was enslaved in Egypt, and after 400 years God led the generation of Abraham out of Egypt, and that was happened, and everybody knows about that. And the third one is, then Abraham was the first Sumerian. sequence of Israel.